Hey guys, sorry I sound like I am stuffy nose. Allergies are like really bothering me. Y'all, so bad. Let me see. All right, so you guys know we talked about Eddie. He cleared up some things about the hotel security. He said that he went ahead and finished his testimony before they brought Brianna out. So basically, we gonna make this short. My allergies is kicking my butt. So I'm sorry, y'all, that I'm sniffling and huffling. So basically, Eddie said that KK was calling his phone, his personal number, trying to get the tape. He wanted that tape. He called him Eddie my angel. And he wanted the tape. They would call his personal, and they would when he met up with them, they were trying to get it. And he was trying to get, address and stuff like that, like basically letting them know that when they got to talk to him with the management, that trying to scare him into giving the tape. He said, you got to talk to my management. He said that he got the money. He used his card from the corporate of Sean Combs, enterprise, which is him, on, I'm sorry, the room, right? So, oh man. So he was letting him know that he was a little scared about everything. Now, they also brought in, let me go back. Brianna Bongolian, who is Cassie's best friend, right? Hold on, y'all. So she, the 15 won off of her. Um, Child, Brianna. So Brianna is a short little thing from what they said. She's short. She, like a little stud. Everybody was like, Brianna, a little stud. I was like, okay, Brianna, a little stud. Brianna coming up in here. So Brianna came and she to the stand. Now Brianna was doing fine till she got cross examined, honey. That black lady tore her up. Okay. So basically, she said that he grabbed her by the boobs and from behind, picked her up, and she had bruises for where like she looked like she was about to be over the balcony. And we gonna get into why. So, she decided to testify. They read some text messages. They had a conversation in court when she took the stand. The discussion arose. A group of media outlets argued for access to exhibits admitted into evidence during Jane's testimony. As oh no, wait, hold on. I don't want to read about that. I want to read about Brianna. So we getting too far ahead. Hold on. I think Brianna done took the stand again today, but we gonna see what she did yesterday. Brianna basically said they were having them a good old time. They brought up Rihanna. They brought up Beyonce. They brought Beyonce up. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm stuffing on. I'm trying to get through this real quick. My nose sound horrible. So Brianna basically testified that he held her over a 17-story balcony in 2016, throwing her onto the balcony's furniture. Okay, Combs faced 5 criminal counts. One of the racketeer conspiracies, and he also has 2 counts of ex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, 2 counts, sorry, of transportation engaged in prostitution. And those are his charges, right? So they came, they decided to talk to Brianna, and oh my nose, I'm trying to get into everything, y'all. So the defense was trying to discredit Brianna's memory of the dangling incident, and they asked her if she hasn't kept all the details of it straight. So every time they kept asking her, they asked her, "Do she remember?" She said no. Now, during the cross examination, the defense lawyer, she had to say, "Listen, you the one that got subpoenaed, you're testifying, you the one that did an immunity." And she said, "Yeah, like basically, like if you keep lying, then that's gonna be it, right?" Go to my Twitter. I feel like it's more detailed over there. So as she's talking to her, Brianna has decided to say that Ray J was giving out the rugs. He told, she told her to go get the rugs from Ray J. Okay? That's what was told. All right, we're gonna go all the way down. She also said that, she would stay at Cassie's house from time to time. She said that Diddy has triggered her. They were friends. It was nothing that big of a deal. Let me see if I can get some points. Oh, I sound so horrible, y'all. Where is she at? Y'all, I'm hungry. What the day is. Hold on. Child, between this and everything, I cannot keep up with my days. I just can't. I can't keep up. Trying to get everything to tell y'all what it is. And I hate that. I'm reading it from Inner City Press. And it's talking about PAs. I don't want to hear about PAs. They talked about trying to get to the, okay, here we go, y'all. Okay. Okay. They go through all this stuff, y'all. I'm trying to get to the juice details of it. But she did say that Blackburn was her lawyer. Um, that he put in that she was essayed by Diddy. She said she never said that. She didn't agree with that. Um, and they were trying to sue Diddy for 10 million for essay. So I'm gonna say this on that. To me, if anything, it's giving what people think of Blackburn. It's just giving that. Like, I remember Armand was trying to talk to him, and he was like, "Oh, I can't answer nothing right now." You right, you can't answer nothing right now. I'm sorry. and everything because of the situation. But he was like, I can't answer everything. But he was there. But it was so crazy because he wasn't there that day they had the conversation about it. So she also said she's a fashion designer. Um they asked her what Diddy did to her. Okay, we're going back to everything. Sorry, y'all. What Diddy did to her, he held over a 17-story balcony. She says she has night terrors and she wake up in her sleep. And Cassie is her friend. They met in 2013 at the Young and Reckless, the streetwear company, then at Diamond Designs. They asked, how would you describe the Cassie relationship with Mr. Cole? She said it was very volatile. Now, I remember when I read this, I told y'all, I said they probably had a very volatile relationship. Um, she basically said she went to her house in Beverly Hills, said that they were throwing knives at each other. Um, her and Cassie, they did rugs, they go shopping, they hang out with Deontay and other people. So they showed her a picture of Cassie shopping. She said it was in April 2016. Puff text Cassie, asked where she was, and sent a list where we been. So he was watching them, tracking them down, seeing where they were, acting like they were tracked down, just like air tagging and shit and all of that. And she said that that Cassie and her never told Diddy where she was. And then they said, how did it make you feel? They said objection of rule, like, oh God, he knows where we've been. And she said she sleep on Cassie couch or on the balcony. Excuse me. She said that Diddy would come over, he'll bang on the door and come in. She didn't know he was upset. He threw a knife in her direction and she threw it back and he left swiftly. They asked where she doing runs. She say she don't remember. She say she did not call the police. They asked her why not. She said because she was scared. Did you see injuries on Cassie? Say she FaceTimed her one day at the Perfect Match premiere. And before the makeup, while she was getting ready to go to the Perfect Match premiere, and her eyes were like both her eyes were black. And she saw her face, and she said she was just quiet, and she didn't say anything. And she said it was at the party at the Blind Dragon, a karaoke bar in West Hollywood. They went to Cassie house to help her pack. Deontay was there and Puff came. So they asked her was she under subpoena. She said, yes, I won't get in trouble if I'm truthful. She said that Mr. Cohen provided you drugs. She said, yes, one was called G. I'm not an avid user. Ketamine, marijuana, cocoa. We gonna call it that. How often did you get rugs for Cassie? Often, and it was pills. They popped pills. They did all of that. She said that she did get paid for. Oh, it's raining outside. For getting stuff for her. She asked if she get rugs for combs. She said yes. It was Coco. Did you sell? And she said yes. Did you try with Cassie to stop rugs? Yes, we tried to cook, but there were a lot of rugs around. They asked her, did Mr. Combs threaten her? She said yes. And they showed her a photo from April 2016. And it was the photographer go by the name Bad Boy with an I. We thought it was a cool with his name and we thought we made some art. Puff came up close to my face and said, I am the D. So she said he came up to her face and he told her he was the devil and he would unalive her. And she started to cry. She said she probably was taking Coco that day that she was taking rugs. And she continued to see Mr. Combs after that. She continued to see him around and hang out and stuff. Now she met Cassie first and then she met him. She said she don't know why she did it. She was just still around while he was around. They asked if she tell the government about the threat. They said no. They asked why. They called objection, sustained, and they took a break. They came back. Um, They talked about Jane, who was going to come today. So we're going to talk about Jane tomorrow, and Santos as well, to get with the issues that they need and stuff with Jane, so they could, which is today. So Jane is testifying today. Now this was all yesterday, but Jane is testifying today. Let me go down a little bit more. So they asked her what happened on the balcony, and she said she was there, and then now was, like, they asked her now was there, like, where were you? She said Cassie, my ex-girlfriend at the time, she said she was sleeping on the couch with her ex, and she don't remember if she did rugs or not. And they asked her, what did you do when Combs arrived? She said, I took my ex-girlfriend to the boyfriend to the bathroom, and I was she said she didn't want to expose her to what she saw. She went out to the balcony and she lit her a blunt and was about to, light it up, have her some fun. And Mr. Combs came up behind her, or say that that Diddy came up behind her on the balcony. He lifted her up and put her on the railing. And she showed, Nancy, could you show how he held you? She said, to myself, show us how much did you weigh? She said, I can't say because of rugs, but about 115 pounds. So this girl is short. I think she like 5'1" and 115 pounds. So she's short and kind of, she looked different now, but I guess because she's off of the substance. But around that time, she was short, really skinny, a little small little thing. So it was easy for him to pick her up because she's short, she's really little. She, like she said, 115 pounds because of the weed, the cocoa, uh, all that stuff she was getting in her system. And she said that he screamed at her, he yelled at her, you know what the fuck you did? I said back, I don't know what the fuck I did. And she said it how long it takes to say multiple times, you know what the fuck you did. So she said they went back and forth. He kept saying, you know what the fuck you did. She said, I don't know what the fuck I did. So they going back and forth. You know what the fuck you did. I don't know what the fuck you did. So they going back and forth about who did what, who the fuck did what. Because nobody don't know what the fuck somebody did. But they just going back like 2 or 3 year olds. I know what the fuck you did. I don't, child, a mess. If I was catching someone to play, oh hell no. She said he threw her on the balcony furniture. She said, I didn't know at first. They asked her was she injured. She said she didn't, but she did have some bruises. Along the lines, did you just hang over the balcony? Then I heard her girlfriend is in the house. He left. I left. I went to take a shower. I felt disgusted. I saw a huge bruise on my leg with like a piercing in the middle, in the back and neck pain. And they showed a photo of her leg and it was a bruise on there. I called one of the managers. They said if you scared of anything else, just go to the chiropractor. Did you tell the chiropractor who did to you? She said no. They asked, but I just paid and took the neck brace. And she had took a picture of herself in the neck brace. She said she didn't want any problems with Diddy. They asked her to talk to her. She said no. So when this she saw him January 2nd, 2018. She say she tattooed a date on herself. She said that's the day she decided to be sober. It was New Year's in Miami at one hotel. Puffy Cass and I did 8 hours of ketamine together. Golly! Uh-uh. She said that she was aware that Cassie included the balcony incident in her complaint. And she said she told her she got the facts wrong because they said it was a hotel, but it wasn't a hotel. It was a resort. me? Can y'all hear me? I don't know if it's moving. Can y'all hear? Okay, it's back. I'm sorry, y'all. I had a phone call. My bad. Okay, so um, oh gosh, so she said the last time she had a nightmare, it was the other day. Okay, she said she's been traumatized. It was the other day that she had a nightmare about Diddy. She said she hired a lawyer. She said her first lawyer was hired in 2024. This is when we get to what you call it. This is when we get to Mr. Blackburn. They say, did you mention everything in your meeting with the us? Which is, this is the government, the state, asking her this. She said no. Did your first lawyer demand letters to call? She said multiple, and the demands were high. He picked it. Did you approve the letters? No, they were incorrect. I let him go. They asked who? She said Mr. Tyrone Blackburn. Okay, they call him the ambulance lawyer. She said that Tiffany Cassidy and producer Rob Holiday had reached out to her, and he was friends with Mr. Combs. So, Westmoreland said, can we have a sidebar? They had a sidebar, and they came back. They asked her who told Mr. Holiday, say he was calling for. She said for Puff. What offer he authorized to offer? Westmoreland said objection. They said sustain. How did you feel during the call? She said she declined the offer. And Westmoreland say no, not responsive. He says sustain, move on unless you're prepared to ask some of the hold on. There you are prepared to ask some of the foundational questions we discussed at sidebar. And they asked her, they talked again. She said no. They had another sidebar. Baby, Westmoreland ain't playing. Let me tell you something. Westmoreland, and a lot of people upset with her because she's a victim herself. We talked about that, but like we said before, Westmoreland decided to do it because she knows. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna continue. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all hear me do that. They said that they were gonna move on. She said, your lawsuit, did you write it? She said, no, how much it was being requested. So she requested, Tyrone Blackburn put down that she was requesting $10 million, not 10,000, $10 million. So then they went to the cross. Okay, so now she finna get cross-examined by Mr. Westmoreland. She said, I need to ask you some questions. She said, you have immunity as long as what you say today is true, right? And, Brianna said, yeah. She said, who decides if you're lying? She said, the prosecutors. Miss Moreland said, Miss Bungalowland, you were a graphic designer. She said, yes. She said, you and Cassie worked on designs, including her hour, true? Including at her hour, true? She said, yes, you were focused on a t-shirt design. There were a lot of things. She asked you to come over. She said, yes. You suggested Cassie do a photo shoot in a pool in just a t-shirt. She said that wasn't the first idea, but yeah. You begin to feel uncomfortable with her. Sounds around it. You spent the night? She said yes. So now they trying to get into that they had something going on because Cassie is just in her t-shirt and her whatever on inside that pool. She ain't got nothing on. It's a little everything, but child, we gonna keep going. They trying to, because Brianna is part of the LGBTQ plus. And they trying to swing around it, child. They trying to swing around it. So she said, you went to parties with Cassie? She said, not going to parties, we partied. She said, okay, you did a lot of rugs with Cassie? She said, yes. How did marijuana make you feel? She said, sometimes hungry. Well, I mean, that's what weed make everybody feel if you do. It ain't no shade. How does ecstasy make you feel? Uplighted. How about G? like the native parts of alcohol. Perk, I threw up. Cocoa Puff, blunt with weed and cocaine. You would agree with me that you and Cassie had a serious drug problem. She said, yeah. You sold drugs to Cassie a lot? She said, yes. You got her hundreds of pills? They were hers. Like, I got them for her, they hers. So she got her hundred of pills, honey. Ooh, child. Then she said, name the drug dealers. I don't know if I can. Let's refresh this. In his job, your clothing line did not work out due to the skater mentality at Diamond Supply Company. I believe they saw the vision, but whatever. You believe you were one of Cassie's best friends? And she said, yeah. But did you meet Mr. Combs for a year? You met in 2016. First time at a dinner at his house? She said, yes. She said he was she said yes. And then she asked, was he standoffish with you? She said yes. And then she said, did you talk to Dante Nash after this testimony? She said yes. She said, not about his testimony, right? You guys didn't talk about what he said. She said, we know what's going on. He said, you don't need to talk because, objection sustained. So she said, Westmoreland say, so you hired Tyrone Blackburn to sue Mr. Combs. And Brianna say it was seek justice. Your definition of justice is to sue Mr. Combs. Brianna said, can you rephrase that? Suing for money. And Brianna said, yeah. She said, yeah. So Westmoreland said November 23, you are where Cassie filed a lawsuit. You were working together then. She said, yeah. And they said they had a sidebar, so they did a sidebar. They came back. There was a lot of sidebars, y'all. A lot of objections. The fence was winning yesterday. I have to give them that. Cassie included the balcony incident in her lawsuit. She said true. Cassie said this happened at a hotel. True. She didn't say it like that. You said your apartment. It was a balcony. I didn't say it like that. She said, so Cassie told you she never saw you over a balcony. And Brianna saying, no, ma'am, I don't remember. So it's Mona say, all right here, read this page, then look up you had these conversations. Brianna said, I don't know. It was Mona say about these alleged balcony incident. You and Miss Ventura talked about the date, the place, and who was there. And Brianna said, true. In 2015 and 2016, you didn't see any signs of violence. True. I don't know the exact year. So Westmoreland said, the birthday party. What drugs were you doing? Brianna said, I don't remember. Then Westmoreland said, allegedly knife throwing incident. He just walked in and threw a knife. Brianna said, I'm not sure. Westmoreland said, are you telling the truth? Government objection. Sustained. Didn't you tell the government they would get in knife fights, plural? Brianna, I don't remember that. So Westmoreland put it out. She said, let me show you. And then Brianna said, I was suggesting where the knife came from. And Westmoreland said, because it makes no sense. Like, you're saying knives plural. We're just saying it don't make sense. I mean, that's what she's saying, right? So Westmoreland said, you're saying you don't know how he got in to throw the knife, but once he left, you're no longer worried. She said, I don't remember how I felt. You saw a photo shoot, Mr. Combs said, I could kill you. She said, yes. But at first you told the government it was at a party. Brianna said, I don't know. Westmoreland said, your first demand letter said, Mr. Combs said, I could unalive you while he hung you over the balcony. And Brianna said he did both, just not at the same time. So they did a sidebar. Westmoreland came back. You met the government on the 18th of January 2024. Didn't mention the I will unalive you, but put in your subsequent demand letter. Yes, in the demand letter, I don't know when. Read this. the whole thing. This paragraph, and it just said as much as you want. She said, thanks, okay? Ms. Moreland, you didn't tell the government about I could unalive you and Tyrone was there. She said, yes, I let him go. She said, drugs were expensive, right? They are expensive. She said, now, I don't know. Did you, excuse me, run out of money for drugs? I don't remember. You and Cassie had a drug partnership? She said, yes. Cassie would pay for the drugs. And then she said, Cassie would, this Westmoreland, Cassie would pay for the drugs. You go buy them. She said, yes. Did you meet the government May 2020, 25, 25th, June 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th? She said, yeah, that's not long ago. That's today. I'm good. I'm not good with dates. Let me tell you something. As much drugs as these folks done used, and now they sober, their memory is jacked up. Baby, by the time they get older, their memory gonna be tarnished. Because if they were using it like that, they done fried the brain. This is crazy. So in the back of the incident, and you tell the government there was a party in the apartment. I don't remember that. You told the government your girlfriend was there in the bathroom, not you, that you took her in there. My ex. Your complaint says you were smoking a cigarette on the balcony, not weed. She say I don't remember. Different things. She said yes. You told the government you recall he was charging at you. Brianna said she don't remember. She don't remember nothing. She said nothing. She did. She should have asked her. Do you remember what you had for breakfast this morning? Because basically she telling them she don't remember. But then when it came to the prosecutors, oh, she remember this and that. When it came to the fence, she don't remember a damn thing. Did you first say Mr. Combs essayed you on the balcony? I showed them where his hands were. You said he groped your breast, or your lawyer said it. My lawyer said that. She said I didn't say that. My lawyer wrote that. Did you tell prosecutors 2 days ago that you couldn't remember what happened out on the balcony? She said she don't remember. Do you remember what drugs you were on? She said no. Didn't you tell the government you took Molly, G, and cocaine? That's a lot of drugs. Didn't you take them all? Not all on that night. How? Okay. She said she don't remember. She don't know what she had. She ain't had all of that. But she remember she ain't take all of that. But she knows she don't remember. How much do you have? Miss Westmoreland say, the judge asked Miss Westmoreland, I'm sorry, y'all, how much do you have? And she said to the judge, she said, how much can I get in last? I like to finish today. I asked you how long, quite a bit more. Jurors, you may go until 11 a.m. tomorrow. So the jury leaves, and he say how much more? She say 45 minutes, maybe 30. He asked her anything else, and then Johnson said, I emailed you this afternoon, so they'll email the docket of what they're going to go over. Now, they're going to continue with um her, but basically, she said that they let go of the clothing. Cassie let go of the clothing thing because she felt that Brianna, I'm sorry, Rihanna and Beyonce were outselling her on the t-shirts and stuff. With their products, right? Their merchandise. So I believe around that time Rihanna, oh God, what's she doing? Fenty? Rihanna was starting with Fenty. Y'all know it so quick. Beyonce has started to do the perfume line, so it wasn't Rihanna anymore. It was more like perfumes and stuff like that because the hair stuff didn't come yet. So it was the Adidas thing, Park, Ivy Park, and all of that. So Cassie was like, you know what? I'm not selling my stuff because my competitors. And it's the second time that she brought up Beyonce into the mix. This is the second time. First it was Jay-Z, now second time. Here's my thing. I'm gonna say this. I don't see how the hell, because the drug thing get me. I don't see how these folks are still kicking after they done took all them darn drugs. She also says she got the drugs from Ray J, allegedly from what I heard. Now I told my friend, is this the Ray J that we thinking? I know Miss Sonya Norwood got in that ass. She don't play. Y'all, I have to put, I'm going to say it again, my opinion. Young Thug case is number 2 to me with the fanatics and BS that this trial have. Okay? Young Thug trial is number 2. Diddy has taken the cake for number 1. Everybody has did a party rug and they don't remember a damn thing. The memory is gone. I need them to do some puzzles, word searches, or something. I don't know if it's because it's traumatized or they tried to block it out. But at some point, if you can't remember what the traumatization of things, the things that traumatized you, obviously you can't remember what you had for breakfast. That's gone. Um, like I told y'all before, defense and prosecutors are doing their thing. The way they coming back and forth like Serena and Venus, will put them together and just kept hitting. It's about, I mean, they're proving their points. Their points are strong, and this is a second witness that we felt a lot of people are feeling like not that great. Now I want to talk about the drama in New York before I go. Um, Shout out to every content creator that is there doing their thing. I applaud y'all. I love it. I love to see you guys out there, boots on the ground, putting it out to the world. I love it, and I really do. It's so inspiring. I'm gonna say this: y'all can't be walking up to folks, to the people that seeing them, threatening people. And I want to say to the content creators out there, welcome to New York, baby. Welcome to New York. That is New York City for you. That is crazy. New York City is crazy every darn day. From sirens to people hollering in the street. They connect with Atlanta with the BS to a lot of things. That is New York City. Okay. We're gonna go ahead. I don't know where we're at. So tomorrow, like I said, we're gonna talk about the war over uterus, and then we're gonna jump more into the Diddy case, Diddy trial. I don't know. I keep saying case trial, whatever. Baby, this is an ish show, but the defense and the prosecutors, they are doing their thing. They're proving their points. I can't get mad. This is the second or third witness that just was horrible. And I feel like Tyrone Blackburn, I hate to say it, but her testimony proved everybody right about him being an ambulance lawyer or helicopter lawyer, whatever you want to call him. So I will see you guys tomorrow with the rest. We're gonna talk about Jane, who is I think another assistant or Cassie friend that is anonymous. She calling herself Jane in it, and we're gonna talk about it and get into it. Let me see if they said something about her. Excuse me, just to give a little, and then we'll finish the rest. I think I'm gonna need to keep Twitter on my phone. Take me a sinus pill. Um, so Jane is gonna be today and tomorrow. Nan's talking to her now. I think they finished with Brianna today, and then they're going to jump into Jane. So, um, they're going to show the screenshot of Ventura communication to Miss Coron, which is KK, about Brianna being dangled off the balcony. Um, they're going to talk about the rugs and the rugs that they found. We're going to talk about that. She's going to finish her cross examination. Westmoreland asked some questions. She asked about Tyrone, and she basically said some of the things that Tyrone wrote was not true. So Westmoreland asked her, Mr. Tyrone said Mr. Cole asked her, sorry, said that Mr. Combs groped your breast. True. She said some of the things he wrote were not true. You fired him and hired new civil lawyers. And they drafted a lawsuit. You reviewed it to the best of my ability. They show her the documents. So we're going to get more into that. I'm going to close out here. We're going to get more into that tomorrow. I think I will go live 3 times tomorrow. This medicine is kicking me in. That's why I'm pausing. I'm going to get off. I'm going to go to sleep. This medicine kicking my butt. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're going to do I'm going to change my war on the uterus from 9:30. We're going to finish with the trial from today. Go to war with the uterus, and then we'll go back from tomorrow. I'm sorry after a certain time. So I will go through live 3 times. This message kicking this Benadryl, kicking my butt. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all tomorrow. This Benadryl knocking me out. Bye.